Do you like my little Facebook Photoshop?
I love it.
Hey, it's Steve with DoingTheLocal.com. You're on patrol with Eneida Martinez, who is our city council member of what district?
The 139th district, the east end of Bridgeport.
Okay, and you taught me something interesting. Your east side, which is we're here on Stratford Avenue, and then you have a little section. Where else?
Bridgeport Hospital area.
How did they work that out?
So this is District 01, Stratford Avenue, and Bridgeport Hospital area is District 02.
Gotcha.
So we have a cutoff. So our cutoff is to Boston Avenue, or certain portions of Boston Avenue.
Okay. So we're on Stratford Avenue. We're gonna drive around. She's gonna point out different things in her district, things that she's been fighting for, things that she's been working for. There's nothing more important than passion, and this woman has passion, and she does work. She's so often the voice of people who don't have a voice, and I can't tell you how important that is. I run into a lot of situations where people are contacting me and saying, "What do we do?" And it just, I'm like a broken record. Can't use that term anymore. Nobody knows what a record is. But I'm repeating things over and over. Hey, contact your city council. How do I find my city? Just Google, City Council Bridgeport. That will get you there, and you can find out who your city council member is. Go ahead, tell them.
So there's a city council website. If you go onto the city of Bridgeport and you type in city council, all of your council members will come up by district. So the district is just the area that each council member represents. So we have from 13001 to 139. Those are all the districts that council members are applicable to. And we have 10 districts, and there's 20 council members, 2 to each district.
Okay. And what's going on right now?
Well, what's going on right now, it's very quiet on the east end of Bridgeport. We're going to take this drive-through, go through different areas. We'll be talking about what's coming to the east end, what we're working on, and where we're going with different projects that are happening on the east end of Bridgeport, District 01 and 02.
So we're going to start driving now. And like I said, we're on Stratford Avenue. Everything's been quiet on Stratford, I'm happy to report. Everybody says, don't use the Q word, quiet.
So we have some development that's going to be coming over here soon, which is a piece of property that is owned by developer Anthony Stewart, who is a born and raised developer on the east end of Bridgeport on Carroll Avenue. He is, as well as the developer, as we're approaching. We're coming up to Honey Locust Square, which a lot of constituents on the east end of Bridgeport are questioning, when are we going to get our grocery store? What happened was Anthony ran across some issues during COVID where he wasn't able to get the materials that he needed to finish the development. He as well has some funding that is on hold with the state of Connecticut, which will be released to him soon so that he can finish the project here on Stratford Avenue, which is Honey Locust Square. I know a lot of times when we talk about politics, you have to understand politics. Building, developing doesn't happen overnight. There's bondings, there's capital fundings, there's state funding, there's federal funding. Things are a holdup. So when there's development and we went through a pandemic, of course, everything is going to be put on hold. Not only that, Anthony incurred additional expenses from the prices he had originally had to finish his project. After the pandemic, everything rose up in prices. So, but we're getting there with the project, and it's soon coming to finishing, and we're happy to say that we will have a grocery store along with other things on the east end of Bridgeport.
They can't read the side of the door. Most people recognize the car now.
We're actually going past Carroll and Stratford Avenue where we have Alliance. Alliance is a agency.
A tremendous agency.
Yes. That has been, it's a satellite office for the residents of the east end of Bridgeport, mainly for those that do not have transportation, that are not able to transport themselves over to the Park Avenue location. And they do complete applications there for energy assistance, rental assistance, as well as other training programs that Alliance offers. So it's an honor to have Alliance on the east end of Bridgeport.
That just changed hands like a few years ago, did it not?
Correct.
It used to be, what was it again? I don't even remember.
It was ABCD.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Something simple, I couldn't even
Action
figure
for
it out.
Community Development.
And what's his name? He ran it.
Charlie Tisdale.
Tisdale, yes. What a great guy.
May his soul bless in peace. He ran that agency wholeheartedly.
We got any plans for naming anything after him?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there are any plans for naming
helped
anything
a
after
lot
me.
of people.
Yes, he did help a lot of people.
If you're going to name something, he's deserving. So.
Absolutely. I agree.
So we're coming, right here.
We're coming past Milestone, which was a development through Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust, which is a low-income housing for seniors, as well as a daycare below that is also part of the Alliance program, that is very supportive and beneficial to the community residents that live in the area whose children are able to attend the daycare.
Wow.
We're going past, we're on Bruce Boulevard and Stratford Avenue. And I don't think too many people are aware that the East End has the dolly factory. This is where they make the dollies. It's a little red shed, and they make thousands of dollies there. So when you go to a store and you have things on a pallet, groceries or whatever on a pallet, boxes, this is where they're made at. They're made at the Dolly Station here at the end of Stratford and Bruce Boulevard.
Did not know that. Okay, what the stuff you learn, right?
Exactly.
Now, don't be afraid to interrupt me and say, go here, go there, because it's your district. I don't know exactly what's happening. So we're on patrol, but this is really just a talk show. It's just a podcast, whatever you want to call it. That's what this is. It's just, I just know that if we go out looking for calls, they don't happen, right?
Exactly. To the left of you, Steve, we have Keen's Pantry. This is a huge food pantry that feeds about, I would say, 12,000 families a week, not a month, a week. And when I tell you they have a large amount of food that they distribute out of Keen's Pantry, I mean, tons of meat, different vegetables, I mean, fresh. One of our councilwomen.
That's a problem with most people on assistance, is getting fresh food.
Correct. Plus, the prices are so high right now that anyone that receives food stamps are not able to afford it. And even those that work are not able to afford it, even after you finish paying all your bills. But Rolanda Smith, which is one of our councilwomen, she is part of the Keen's Pantry, and she runs a phenomenal pantry there. And we are always servicing a lot of our seniors on a weekly basis by dropping food off to them at their door at least 2 to 3 times a week. So for those of you all that do not know about Keen's Pantry, you can always stop by. It's located at 30 Florence Street, off of Stratford or off of Connecticut Avenue.
Who knew? I did not know that. Okay. That's good to know. Now, to the right is where our friends at our candle friends, right?
Yes.
Right here. Natural Annie Essentials.
Yep.
Candle Bar and Studio. Make candles, shop candles. They have great events. People absolutely love what they do there. And I get a lot of feedback. They're one of our big sponsors. And they get a lot of people coming.
Great business. Great business.
Now, this whole building, tell me about this building. That was recent, right?
This is the old Ally Elevator Company. This building belongs to the city of Bridgeport. The building has not been sold because the building is full of asbestos. But it is city property.
As long as you don't disturb it, you're fine.
As long as you don't disturb it, you're fine. Yep.
And
you know, I have to say, Steve, just during the summertime, they uplifted the decor lights. They replaced them. They painted them.
That's the lampposts, right?
These lampposts here. They replaced the bulbs. They replaced the shattered fixtures. So it looks good over here. Here we have the Board of Education maintenance building. This is where they facilitate all of the Board of Ed maintenance out of.
Wow. Okay. Who knew? Again, Bridgeport Commerce Park.
Yes. This is a portion of this is utilized by the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. They utilize a lot of that for donations, and they sort out their donations there, and then they bring it over to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission on Park Avenue.
Ah, okay.
Whatever's good, they'll bring it over. They also have an antique manufacturing there in that building as well. This is the Innovation Center, which there's tons of businesses here that run out of this location. I mean, we do have a lot of things on the east end of Bridgeport. The east end is on the move, and it's on the rise with different things. We do have a lot of buildings that are vacant. But again, if you have a building owner that does not want to sell the property, that just wants the property to sit, and this business owner is paying his taxes, there's nothing that we can do.
Right. And how can people do that, though? To just let a property sit and continue to pay the taxes?
They just hold on to the property. For example, we have a church here. I honestly don't see this church being utilized that often. I do see in the summertime they do serve the community, hot dogs, hamburgers, and they do donate clothing and so forth. But the winter time, I don't see the church being utilized for anything.
I like the little turret up there.
Yes.
We saw that. That was like, wow, cool.
Yes.
So where do you want to go to next?
We can go down to, I just want to go down to, let's go down to Seaview Avenue. Or unless you want to take a right here, let's go over to Central Avenue. Let's tour a little bit of District 2, which is the Bridgeport Hospital area.
Central Ave is such a busy road, but it's in different sections, right?
Yes, yes. We have our fire station here.
Right here
to
on
the left.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So this is the East End Fire Station.
The home of heroes.
I just wanted to say about the Volkswagen SUV on the 47 Ford.
As we approach the corner here, this is a Willie McBride's establishment. He's finishing his development here. He's going to open soon. A small minority business owner who does a lot of work in the city of Bridgeport. Happy to have him in the district.
Absolutely.
And building.
He's the electrician, right?
He's the electrician, building a state-of-the-art building there to your left. There's some work we have to do on the East End, Steve, such as stuff like this. I dislike driving through the community and seeing so much brush, but the main road, Central Avenue is a main road, which is a state property. So
which way do you want me to go?
We can go straight.
Okay.
There's not much that we can do on a state property.
Correct,
it has to be through the Department of Transportation through the state of Connecticut. This is one of our biggest senior buildings we have on the east end of Bridgeport, 1491 Central Avenue, Tower 2. Has over 100 and probably about 129 apartments. Bridgeport Hospital is having some uplifting to their parking lot.
Well, there's always progress, hopefully.
Yes,
otherwise
we're going to go straight down. Greater Bridgeport Mental Health, as you know.
That I don't know.
That's the Greater Bridgeport Mental Health,
wow.
Inpatient and outpatient.
Wow, okay.
Bridgeport Hospital's loading dockets back here.
Although my wife says I should be, no.
We're going past the old Harding High.
Yeah, that was some fire, huh?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then we had the incident here, and I parked at the same parking spot on both incidents.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, when a car plowed into all the
sad
people.
Situation. But as we travel, I'm going to show you the house where we had the City of Bridgeport Health Department remove some homeless individuals, which is this house right here, Steve. So I'm assuming that the individuals that were in this house were the ones that transitioned over across the street.
Right or left?
We can take a right.
And yes, I stop at yellow lights, and I do use my directional signal.
So as you can see, there's a lot of development, a lot of uplifting being done in this area here, with including the new Harding High School sidewalks, walking paths, parking spaces.
They did do a nice job on the high school.
They are doing a great job. They're not finished. They're doing a great job.
Still in work. Wow.
Still
okay.
in the works. Yes. I have to tell you that I've been kind of hammering our state rep, and our state senator is currently working on more safety on Boston Avenue. This street has been a deadly street for many.
Especially right here.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. The crossing path is not appropriate for anyone to cross.
Left or straight?
You can go straight. It's very dark, as you can see. There aren't many United illuminating lightings brightening up Boston Avenue. Very, very dangerous road. But again, this is a state road, so the city of Bridgeport is limited
so
to
you're
what
at
we.
Their
yes,
mercy,
we're at their mercy. As
Wow.
you know, the old St. Ambrose turned into Fairfield University for community enrollment. That's the Fairfield University community enrollment. Is for individuals within the community that can enroll into
I just don't let this
Fairfield University.
And in Fairfield, it's Sacred Heart taking over everything.
Correct. So all of this, Steve, is part of the 139th district. This side. So the left belongs to 138, the right belongs to 139.
So if we head back over to Noble Avenue,
that's the east side. Noble Avenue is 137.
Okay.
That is the east side.
So if we went down Willow and
that's the east end. This is District 02, but this is still part of the east end. All the way to Sage Avenue is part of the east end.
I'm going to take you down to Success Ave because there's a lot of stuff that takes place down there. There's a lot of schools, right?
Yes.
And I've had people call me and complain about the drop-off at, I guess, the high school, the trade school there. And
Bullet Havens.
Yeah, and
well,
I told them it's a state school and there's not much the city can do, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, that is a state school, unfortunately, and you're absolutely correct. There isn't much that the city can do about that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
as we're going into Success, let's talk about the issues that have been arising with Success.
Yes.
There has been a heating issue in Success. And what the community is not aware of is that Success is a co-op. Co-ops are owned by leaseholders. The city really has no jurisdiction over anything that is owned by leaseholders. So the cooperative is not owned by the city of Bridgeport. They are owned by the individuals who reside in the homes. So yes, they have a heating issue, but the problem with the heating issue arises from the management of the cooperative that need to probably find a company that is able to fulfill the heating system that they currently have. Issue. This is more so of whom is managing the as if the whole heating system, boiler room, and everything else may need to be replaced, which means that the
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. So each one of these units is individually owned.
You own it, but you are considered a lease owner. So you have share in the co-op itself. So you're a share owner.
Where should I go?
You can take a left because we're going into Stratford that way.
That's what I thought. Am I going right?
Yeah. Just take a left. It's going to take you all the way around. We're going to probably end up on Pearl Harbor if you go all the way around.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor, Success. Busy. They're busy. They're more populated. then people realize, and relatively quiet.
Yes. You know,
So,
what I'm happy about, Steve, is that the city of Bridgeport has implemented a fair rent department now, which can be more assistance to those that are
wow,
renting,
okay.
that landlords are jacking up their rents every 2 to 3 months. That is totally against the law.
Wow.
And if anyone is having issues with their rent being raised, please stop down over at Margaret Morton Government Center, 999 Broad Street. Because it is totally against the law for a landlord to jack your rent up every 2 months.
Wow, okay. So tell me a little bit more about that, and if people have issues, or what kind of issues do they deal with, and what can be done?
See, we're on Pearl Harbor, so you can go all the way around. So actually, Orlando deals with those type of complaints, where perhaps, say, you've been living in a place for 6 months, and you're going into your 7th month, and your landlord sends you a letter and says you're paying $1,300, but now he wants to jack the rent up to $1,500.
Okay.
That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
What about unfixed things in the apartment, or no heating, or no things that are supposed to be working not working? What can they do?
Unfixed things in the apartment, you can report to Margaret Morton Government Center, again, 99 Broad Street. You're going to go to social service. The best thing for you to do is video or have photos of what you are bringing in as far as a complaint. Or if you want to document it before you get there, someone will see you. They'll do a report. One of the inspectors will come right out. Depending on the conditions of how you're living, if you have no running water, no heat, the city of Bridgeport Health will place you in a hotel, but the landlord will be held accountable to pay the city back the money that the city is putting into placing you into a hotel.
I got you. And usually, what hotels are that nearby?
It depends. Sometimes, depending on the setting hotel.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, well.
I mean, whatever the issue may be that is causing lack of quality of life, always report it. You shouldn't be afraid to report what you're going through, especially if you're paying rent.
Okay, that's good to know, because a lot of people are in that situation and they don't know what they can and cannot do.
Correct.
I see a blue tarp on that roof,
which means they have roofing issues.
Yeah. Right. Kind of like came down. Oh, I went
right where you started. You just take a left, and a lot of renters will not come down and file a complaint because they fear retaliation from the landlord. But you shouldn't fear retaliation from the landlord, because under the Fair Housing Commission and the new department that has been implemented in the city of Bridgeport, I can assure you that you will be protected with coming in and filing your complaint on whatever issues you may have. No one should live under any conditions that are not livable.
Well, that's good to hear, and I just hope that people that have that need take you up on that situation. We'll try to find an email for the complaints to go to later, maybe.
Sure.
Okay, that'd be great. So which way now? Take a right?
We can take a right, and then we're going to go down, and then we'll take a left on Seaview, which is a lot of construction that's going on there, which is part of the infrastructure and development that's happening with new sidewalks, the new walking path for the Harding High School.
So do you think this was right? What do you want me to do? Hit the guy? I'm getting beeped at because I let a pedestrian walk across.
So this intersection here has been one of my biggest
Yes.
pet peeves for the last couple of years. A lot of people have lost their lives here due to
Yes, unfortunately.
lack of proper crossing walks and lights and everything else.
And then further up by the gas station too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I avoid this road at all costs now because it's just.
So after we did the redistricting in the city of Bridgeport, this was part of the 137th district. So now it has become part of the 139th district, which is a housing, this building here is a housing development, low income.
Big pothole there.
Building.
Say that again for me, please. I was
1260 Boston Avenue. It's a part of the Park City Community Development. Nice building. They've improved it. They're doing some work to the property, which is excellent.
Now, you've been a city council member for how long? As far as I remember.
Well, I was first elected to office in 2013 and lost my seat in 2021 and back reelected in 2023.
Okay, and
so I was off for 2 years. Not that I stopped doing the work.
I was just going to say that because I never saw you take a break. You were always available to the voters and such. And I don't think it's a matter of the voters. I just think you have that passion to get things done. Is that
the passion to get things done and the passion to help individuals? It doesn't matter what district you live in. You do not necessarily have to live in my district to give me a call. I'm
and
open
that
to
happened
help
once
everyone.
because we had a situation where your district was split, and then I thought I was calling you for a person who couldn't get it. What is going on here? I thought we were in your district. We were like a block over, but yet you still dropped what you were doing to help that person out, and that just spoke volumes to me because it's not your district, but yet you still took care of them on a Sunday. So appreciate you interrupting your Sunday to be here for us.
Absolutely. When you're a representative, or not even a representative, if it's something that you're out to, this is the east side, so we're going to go straight across.
Okay.
This is going to take us into the east side. Mm-hmm. When your heart is in the community and the people, there shouldn't be a set district which you represent. You represent the city as a whole.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at. So I don't care who calls me, what time they call me, what they call me for. I'm available. Let's take a left, Steve. Actually, you know what? Go straight. Let's go over to the Seaview Avenue area.
Okay.
I'll point out some things over there. So this building here, Steve, at some point, it's going to be demolished.
Really? Okay.
There's no interest in anyone purchasing this building for anything. Okay. So at some point, this building will be demolished, and perhaps maybe after some brownfield remediation, they may be able to do some housing development there. But right now, it's not suited for no housing development.
Now, if you own a home and you have asbestos that you know of, or you have something wrong with the house, you have to let the buyer know that.
Correct.
And yet, there's no requirement to tell you that you're living where a brownfield used to be.
When someone is ready to buy a home in an area, they should always check. It's like Carfax, right?
Yeah.
When you're going to buy a car, you always check, have that car been in an accident, how many accidents, whatever. The same thing should follow for homeowners. You should always check, because everything may look good on the outside, but it's not what looks good in the inside. And you don't even test the soil for lead.
Yeah.
Even test the soil for lead.
So there's been a lot of development, especially in Fairfield. And I just said to Senator Wong, I said, hey, is there any requirement? And as far as we know, no. And even the governor said no.
We're going to go straight, Steve. This here is another issue that I have. We did have a lieu of homeless people living under here, Steve.
I know.
But one of our great city employees, which I have to name him, David Reyes. That was the best person they put into social service, came here.
Oh, yeah.
With Carmen Colon and others. and they removed the homeless individuals that were there. They were able to place some. Some didn't want to go to shelters, others did, but they were able to remove them from living under this viaduct. So now the battle is trying to get this underneath this viaduct cleaned out. There's so much garbage down there. But again, this is a state.
This was AGI. This is where the annual or the monthly fires used to be.
Yep.
At that factory that used to be there. And I knew it was just a matter of time before it did get torn down for that very reason. Homeless, that's a good play. Good wheelie there. Right in front.
Homeless.
Tell me about the homeless, and have you seen a decrease since they put in the homeless Carmen Colon? What is her
unfortunately, Carmen Colon is no longer with the Y.
Oh.
Carmen Colon is now the president of Pacifica House in Stamford. She left the Y, I believe, 2 weeks.
Oh, she was another
2 weeks ago.
person.
We're going straight. Yep. Carmen Colon did a great job here in the city of Bridgeport serving the homeless population. I worked with the homeless population for about 25 years.
That's got to be hard,
Steve. It was very hard. You run across all walks of life. You have homeless people that may have been millionaires that lost everything for whatever reason. But I have to say that the homeless population has been decreasing.
Okay.
You do see a lot of homelessness, perhaps maybe behind the courthouse, underneath the old ferry dock location over by the bus terminal. But a lot of homeless individuals do not want to go into the shelter for whatever reasons of their own personal choices.
Right. And that's the hardest.
That's the hardest. Not because we're going straight. Not because the shelter doesn't want to accept them. They just don't want to commit to perhaps maybe going in at a curfew. Their choice may be, and that's their right. That's their right. But what I can apartments,
okay,
which if still receiving assistance from the community programs.
Because I was going to say, there's a lot of people who don't want to go into the shelters.
They don't want to go into the shelter.
No matter how hard you work, you can't make it look better.
You can't make them.
Right.
No, you can't. This is Seaview Avenue. I want to go down. Did we pass the boat ramp?
No, not yet.
We're actually approaching it.
Yes. Dolphins Cove, is that open, closed? What's going on there?
Dolphins Cove is open.
Okay.
Dolphins Cove is open. So let's talk about the boat ramp. So the boat ramp, I believe about 3 years now, was closed by the city of Bridgeport because it was unsafe. And as you can see, there's barricades that are here. Barricades were actually placed for safety measures.
Right.
The boat ramp cannot be fixed until the state gives the city of Bridgeport the permit to move forward with the development. Okay. So we have to keep barricades here to protect anyone from danger. But it's not the city of Bridgeport that's holding up the process of reopening the boat ramp. It's the state of Connecticut.
Gotcha.
So sometimes people want to know, well, what's the holdup with opening for the boat ramp? Well, perhaps maybe we should all get in contact with our state legislative officials that represent each district in the city of Bridgeport, not just the East End, and send messages on pushing for these things to get the permits needed so that the project can finish in a timely fashion, so that individuals are not inconvenienced and they can use these areas that are closer to them instead of, I think they have to go to Stratford now to dock their boat.
Really? Okay. That's
So that's what's going on with the ramp over on Seaview Avenue, the boat ramp. We're just waiting for permits from the state. Public facilities had put in for it approximately 3 years ago, and it's just a process from the state. Let's go down here. We're going to go over to Pleasure Beach.
I have never been there. I remember the bridge. And did you know that wooden bridges are stronger than steel?
Yes.
I did not know that
yes.
until I looked it up.
So there's a lot of stalling tactics to opening Pleasure Beach because Pleasure Beach has now become a wild um, animal location for birds.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So they closed off certain sections of Pleasure Beach that we can't even utilize the portion of the beach because of those birds that are in those areas.
Okay.
To replace the Pleasure Beach Bridge, I'm going to say it's going to cost about $160 million.
Wow. Take a left.
Nope. Go
Take
right
a-
in here.
Right in here.
Yeah. This is Pleasure Beach.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I see the one-way sign.
You can go right in here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it is utilized a lot in the summertime. A lot of people utilize. They come out and fish. They still have the taxi that in the summertime brings individuals
Right.
from one portion of here to the other portion of the park, and they still get to utilize it. But it's gonna cost a lot of money to build another bridge here at Pleasure Beach. And again, those will be state dollars that the city will have to count on, state permits, state time, and whatever it takes to rebuild and open Pleasure Beach. So again, everything doesn't happen overnight, as some may think. There's process to different things when it comes to development, fixtures, and so forth.
We got fisher people down there.
Yes.
Right there. People
Yes.
fishing. Yeah.
People fish. They utilize it. This is a nonstop.
So, as far as guests go, Anita was the first to ask. The first city council person to ask me. And I said, of course. And I do have other people lined up. I think you've been a very interesting, very informative guest. We're not done. I'm just telling you that we do have other people. I do want to keep it varied. I don't want it to be just city council. I don't want it to just be politics. I want to help inform the public of what's going on. And Anita, you've been a good source of info so far. So we will have other guests. We will have other city council people. There are plenty of people we have on tap. So we're just still kicking the tires on this and seeing how,
We can go straight up.
it's well received. So that's part of it. And
Let's talk about blight, Steve.
yes,
This area here is a high blight area. Individuals from all over. And I say
and
all
it
over.
still is. Okay, because I
Yes.
haven't heard much about this place in a while.
We have boats that they drop at this location down here. Always a high blighted area. Abandoned cars. Individuals do repairs in their homes and they come down and they dump it down
Wow.
here. And
Now, I know the illegal dumping, but then we also had Frank Recchia did a report on people in RVs and stuff, living out of
Yes.
RVs and
Yes.
stuff. So
yes. So we've kind of cleaned the RV issue up, and we're cleaning up the issue of the issue of the 18-wheelers. And I'm actually in the process of revisiting the ordinance that we have in the city of Bridgeport right now, because what I need the community in the city of Bridgeport as a whole to understand is that the Bridgeport Police Department cannot ticket a tractor trailer unless they are parked from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. are the only hours that tractor trailer can be ticketed.
Huh.
Or unless the tractor trailer has been sitting at a location. So these areas here, Steve, are high for 18-wheelers to park and just sit. This is a high blighted area. And normally on the weekends, I drive through the neighborhood and I take pictures and I send the pictures to public facility, and they're pretty responsive with the turnaround of picking the blighted stuff up. But going back to the 18-wheelers, if the 18-wheeler is parked at a location for an extensive of 3 days or more, and an officer has patrolled that area and has seen that 18-wheeler there, they can ticket it between the hours of 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Other than that, there's nothing else that the policing can do, such as we have a truck here we're going past. So I can tell you that that truck wasn't there earlier today because I came through here.
But we're not really giving our tractor trailer drivers a place to pull over and rest.
The city doesn't have a location.
It's not just the city, it's the whole state.
Correct.
And so, you know, we get mad at them when they
let's take a right here.
Travel too many hours on the road nonstop. But if you don't give them a place to stop and rest,
they're going to park everywhere.
Right, exactly. So the state really needs to step up their game and help in our tractor trailers, because without them, we got nothing. Remember
I agree.
COVID?
I
Remember
agree.
COVID?
Yep, I agree.
So
I agree. And even this here, Steve, you see how all of this brush, how nasty it is?
Yep.
We have sent letters out to the state to cut all this stuff down. This is not something that anyone that looks out of their window from where they live want to look at.
Right.
But again, it's out of our hands. This is state property. So if the state doesn't do it, what can we do about it?
Right.
Understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So,
I do. Your hands are tied. You can't do anything
exactly,
about it.
Exactly. We can do potholes, even on state properties. We can do potholes.
Oh.
You know, we can hold homeowners accountable for damages to their sidewalk. And to the homeowners listening, there is a homeowners program with the city of Bridgeport that you can apply for, and no one is disqualified. The city of Bridgeport will pay 50% and you will pay the other 50%. So say you have an estimate of $5,000, the city will pay the $2,500 and you'll pay the $2,500 and you can get a new sidewalk.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
How many people knew about that? Alex, here's what used to be Massey's.
Yes.
No more Massey's.
No more Massey's.
Higher gas prices.
And the house that was here was knocked down.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, Steve, a lot of people don't know about a lot of things that the city have. We also have.
That's why I think it's important to have you and other city council people on again.
We also have a homeowners program. So the homeowners program is like a rehabilitation program for individuals perhaps who may need a new roof, who may need new windows, who may have grandchildren in their home, and their home may have tested positive for lead, for perhaps maybe old paint they may have used. You qualify for a replacement of a lot of things through the home ownership program in the city of Bridgeport.
So you own the home, you need a new roof or whatever.
Fill out the
city will help pay for it?
Yes, fill out the homeowners rehab program application, and you qualify for stuff such as those.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits in the city of Bridgeport that are not put out to the public, that should be put out to the public, so that they can know what they can receive assistance with, which a lot of them don't know. I mean, we just had a rent rebate informational session Friday at Margaret Morton Government Center, and it wasn't attended by a lot.
I didn't hear about it.
So as an elected official, it is my responsibility to make sure that I put those flyers out into all the senior buildings within my district, as well as my colleagues should do the same thing.
Right.
So that, and not even just the senior buildings, even individuals who rent homes are entitled to rental assistance.
Wow. Okay.
Which is rent rebate is what they call it.
All right.
Nancy is asking, where can you find the application for the homeowners rehabilitation?
She can find the application in Margaret Morton Government Center, 999 Broad Street. And she's going to come to the community. Well, they'll call someone downstairs to come see her. She can either see Andrews Miller or Milta Feliciano for the program.
Milta's also another dedicated person too, so she'll get you taken care of. That's good. Any other questions, Alex? I was just about to ask you what's going on our feed.
Let's see. Not a lot of questions, a lot of comments. Craig says, great job, Anita. Pauline Edwards says, love you, Anita. Tanari asks, who owns Old Harding High?
The Old Harding High School is owned by the city of Bridgeport, There are some negotiation currently with Bridgeport Hospital. Bridgeport Hospital is interested in purchasing the building,
Hey, Uri.
but it is not fully a cut deal yet with them.
You're on Patrol Live with doingalocal.com. How are you, man? Yeah, and you're on live with us. Anything good to go see? Not yet. Okay. All right. We're just out cruising, looking for trouble. You know us, you know. That's what my mom, my mom always asks me, what are you, looking for trouble? Well, yeah, I do that for a living now. So, okay, good to see you.
Take care.
We'll let him pull ahead.
Take a right here on Bunnell Street, Steve. I also will like the City of Bridgeport residents to know that anyone that may be behind on their rent, they can either come down to the City of Bridgeport and see what assistance the City of Bridgeport may be able to help them with. We would rather see someone come down and apply for assistance than to see someone come down when they're facing eviction.
Right.
When literally the truck is at your door and they're ready to remove you. So don't be afraid to come down, speak to someone. The City of Bridgeport has social workers that are always at hand. We do have a new, take a left. We do have a new health department director, Dr. Rodriguez, who is phenomenal, has a lot of changes, a lot of implementation going on in the health department. I have to say that things are in place for the betterment. Last year, the city had a bulk of money came across. We're going to go down. Came across
wow.
Of individuals that apply for
and that was a lot
assistance.
due to COVID, was
Yes,
it not? Yeah.
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
How we survived
was.
that without a worldwide depression, I don't know. It just was devastating, and it still bothers me because there's a lot of people who had businesses that couldn't survive, and that was their dream. That was what they take a left or a right.
We're going to take a right.
Okay. And that was their dream. So yeah, we're still gonna have business people on. Just send me an email, steve@doingalocal.com, and we'll put you on the list of things to do.
We're gonna take a right at the next block.
Okay. This is one of my favorite buildings right here. This, I don't know why. I just get a good feeling when I see this building. It's very well maintained.
This building here has
Yes.
a training. They do training here on the lower level. Kim Bianca, do you know Kim Bianca?
No, I don't.
She runs a training program out of there. Great, phenomenal entrepreneur here in the city of Bridgeport. This land here is going to be housing development. Right now, it looks like it's just a parking space for trucks, but it's because he's in the process of moving along his paperwork.
Okay.
To get everything in order before he has to get approval and everything else before he can start his development.
Gotcha.
We're gonna go straight.
We're gonna wait on you because we don't know where we're going.
And then Jeff asks, which building is it for the renters assistance?
It's the same building. It's 999 Broad Street. He's gonna go there and he's gonna either ask for David Reyes or LaQuasia Bowen. LaQuasia Bowen is the code enforcement officer for the relocation.
Now, just remember, you can always play this back. You don't have to worry about,
Go straight.
the one-time play that you don't get to see it again. You can play this back, get the contact information that you need, and you've given us a ton of information, which is good.
This parking lot here, Steve, belongs to this building here. I think this is 880 Union Avenue. They just did this parking lot over, so
I like the uplighting.
yes, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of businesses that operate out of this location here. But of course, they didn't have any parking space. But they have paved this. They just put the fencing up, so they beautify this, which is going to be great for all of the business owners that rent space out of this location.
Nice.
I mean, I have to say, to some, it may look like things are not moving forward on the East End, but they truly are. Breakthrough Church does a lot of feeding to individuals as well. They have food pantry there. They give away clothing. I mean, they do a phenomenal job there as well.
Bridgeport has some really good socially aware churches.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
just so many churches that are getting the tax benefits of not paying taxes, but they're not doing anything about it, and that's not what Christ taught. So, you know, I like seeing people helping each other out, and we're seeing that with a lot of the Bridgeport churches.
I also want to also remind homeowners that may be listening that we do have an ordinance for WPCA. Whereas if you find yourself in a situation where you're receiving collection or court notices with regards to your WPCA bill, please stop down to Margaret Morton Government Center and ask to speak to a city attorney who will be able to help you. Do not allow your property to go into foreclosure because you think that by receiving a letter from the court that you're in trouble and you're not able to take your property out of foreclosure. Because we fought very hard to put ordinances in place for homeowners to keep their properties, because that was one of the biggest things that were going on in Bridgeport. There were a lot of foreclosures going on due to WPCA, but we have payment plans that can be made. Russell Liskoff will work with you on setting up arrangements to take your property out of foreclosure. There's different things that you may qualify for that you may think you don't qualify for. So let's go straight down. Okay. So do not hesitate to stop down at Margaret Morton Government Center to speak to someone with regards to any WPCA issues you may have.
Now, I remember that used to be a pool hall. And we used to have a lot of shootings there, and I don't even see the sign up anymore, which I guess is a good thing, right?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
What?
No, actually, it's over here, Steve.
Oh, okay.
It was this one here, which is no longer open.
Okay.
It's no longer open.
A lot of changes.
A lot of changes for the betterment.
Sunshine Deli, no more?
Sunshine Deli has been sold as a new owner. Yep.
So we got plenty of asphalt to make speed humps, but we don't have enough to fill the potholes.
Well, let me tell you
I'm
something.
joking.
Let me
I'm
tell you
joking.
something. This was a fight here to get these speed bumps here, and I'm gonna tell you why. The people were flying down this avenue as if this was a highway. I mean, cars were running into people's homes. Cars were constantly being hit on the street. I mean, this is a school zone. A lot of kids go to the school.
Yeah.
So before someone's child was hit by a car, let me tell you, it wasn't easy getting these speed bumps to be put down. So it slows down the traffic and the community is happy.
So you've seen a lot, I'm sure, that people can't even imagine what you've seen. What irks you the most?
What irks me the most is blight.
Okay.
Slumlords. Slumlords. We're gonna go straight.
Okay.
Slumlords. See, we have blight here. I came through here earlier. That wasn't there. So these are the areas that people choose to dump at. So I'll document that and I'll send an email out.
Look at this car.
Yep. Hearing from constituents in the community on, that they work so hard and the rental amounts that they pay, and when they need something repaired, the landlord doesn't want to, repair it.
So there's a lot.
In the summertime, sometimes where we just pass, the liquor store there constantly flooded with individuals sitting out. So we're gonna take a right here because that's a dead end. Constantly filled with individuals where the kids obstructing the sidewalk. The kids can't walk past. those are the type of things that irritate me the most. Most importantly, the blight. The blight. Seeing our seniors. We're gonna take a right. Seeing our seniors not receiving the assistance that they need. Making sure that the quality of life is met.
Okay.
In the community. I have to say that Chief Porter, we're going to take a left. Chief Porter is doing a phenomenal job here in the city of Bridgeport. Anytime that I send him or his captains an email, they're very, very receptive and responsive to it. Let's shoot straight up. So I'm happy with the changes that are happening in the city of Bridgeport. We do need to make some changes in departments, hold more individuals accountable, so that things can get done in the city. We want to see fruitation. We don't want to see empty lots, right? We want to see development.
Yeah, right.
Most importantly, affordable housing. We need affordable housing.
You're right.
A lot of affordable
But we
housing.
see a lot of buildings going up, and people are saying it's not affordable. I have not been able to verify that. What have you noticed?
Well, that's why we're going to take a left, Steve. That's why it's a good thing that we have the Fair Housing Department now in the city of Bridgeport, because we can stop all of that.
Police Academy.
The Police Academy is here. They do a phenomenal job here. We can stop all of that rent gouging, going up on the rent as you please, making it not affordable.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to live in affordable housing. You can live in a nice half a duplex. Just it's affordable for you.
Right.
Newfield Park. The city has spent a lot of money redoing the ball fields. Infomark is going to be investing a lot of money into Newfield Park.
Infomark?
Yes.
What is that?
They're a part of WPCA.
Oh.
So
sounds like a private company.
Yep, they are a private company. You're going to take a right here. They're going to do a lot of improvement.
Uh-oh, black cat. Look out.
They're going to do a lot of improvement here at Newfield Park. They're going to do a lot of improvement to the playground, which is great for the individuals from the community to have a place that they can call, their community park.
Gotcha.
So I'm happy to, be a part of this improvement here at Newfield Park. As you can see, they have cleaned up over here. They've improved this over here. The gazebo, they have grills. They're going to be replacing some of the grills as well here at Newfield. So,
it's
for the most part, it's uplifting. It's uplifting.
What about summer things to do for the kids? That's coming up fast.
Well, for the kids, we have here on the East End, we have the Raffola Teller Center, which we have, they are improving on the activities and the different programs that they have available for our children. And you don't have to be specifically from the East End to go to the Raffola Teller Center. I'm hoping to see that the city allows and hires some of our children to work in Parks and Recs. And some of the summer programs that are available for our youth to keep them uplifted with employment and not out in the streets.
Is there a labor shortage that you're aware of? Because it depends on who you talk to. There's a labor shortage.
There is a labor shortage. Yes, there is a labor shortage.
Okay.
You know what, Steve, while we're over here, this is a development. They're going to do groundbreaking soon. They're going to have a Dunkin' Donuts here, a gas station, and a Jersey Mike's.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Right to your left.
That's the best place to get shots of the city.
And let me tell you, the developer is looking to hire nobody but Bridgeport residents only.
Excellent. Okay,
Bridgeport
good.
residents only.
You hear that?
Yep. So gas station, Dunkin' Donuts, and Jersey Mike's. Groundbreaking will be in April. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank says hi.
Frank who?
Rekia.
Ah, hey,
Hi,
Frank.
Frank who?
Well, I know a lot of Franks, so I just didn't want to assume.
And Joyce says hi. Joyce was here last week.
This has been one of the most informative. I thought Jim was really chock full of knowledge, but this little 1 hour ride, holy cow.
Yes, that's it in a nutshell.
Andre Whaley's tuning in.
Hey, Andre.
Mm-hmm. And you know, the other thing, Steve, that a lot of people do not know, different departments. So while we're taking this right along, I want to educate individuals on where departments are in the city of Bridgeport. So at 45 Lion Terrace, which is over by the police department, which is the old Central High School, you have your tax office, you have your town clerk's office, you have your tax assessor's office, you have civil service, which is where you go and complete an application for city employment, which is really done online, but civil service. You have on the second floor, you have the police department overtime for contractors that are working out on the streets. You go there and you apply for overtime policing. You have zoning, you have engineering, you have the Board of Education, you have, let's see here, because I documented so I wouldn't forget it. You have the fire marshal's office. You have the building department where you have to go get permits for. Then at 999 Broad Street, you have vital statistics where you go get your birth certificate, marriage license, death certificates. Then we have probate. We have the registrar's office. You have the finance department, health and social service, WPCA collections department there. We have the parking enforcement, although it is on John Street, it's still located at 999 Broad Street.
I'm intentionally going around the block.
Internal affairs. We have the Fusion Center. We have a portion of Board of Education there for security. The Fair Rent Commission, that's all on the first floor. The second floor, we have the mayor's office. We have the city attorney's office. We have purchasing, small minority business office. So if you're a small minority business owner, come in, speak to Jason, speak to Fred G, get your business registered, become a vendor for the city of Bridgeport, so that Jason can send you emails so that you can be a part of the pop-up market. We have the Port Authority Department. We have Central Grants. We have OPED. We have Economic Development, the CAO's office. We have public facilities there. Talking about public facilities, let me just bring some of the homeowners up to
Please.
Informational things that you all should know. A lot of individuals call public facilities when perhaps their garbage can is stolen, whether it's the green garbage can or the blue garbage can. What you all have to do, and it sounds ridiculous, but this is what public facilities is required to do. You have to file a police report. Bring it down to 999 Broad Street in order for you to get a replacement garbage can, whether it's a green garbage can for garbage or the blue one for recycling. You have to file a police report so that your garbage bin can be replaced.
Now, who would have thought that?
Only if it was stolen. Now, if your garbage can, the lid is broken, it has a crack, it's off the hinge, that can be replaced. All you have to do is come down with a report that your lid needs to be replaced, and when they go back to your district of picking up your garbage, they will replace that lid. They don't have to replace the whole bin, but they will replace the lid. A lot of people do not know that. New homeowners, bring verification of your closing, and you will get new garbage bins.
Oh, okay. And that's where?
Margaret Morton Government Center, 999 Broad Street, Public Facilities Department.
Okay. Now, I'm intentionally went around the block because I want to show the viewers a situation you guys had with this on the left-hand side, this church over, what, 2 summers ago or something like that? Wasn't there some sort of blight or something you and Ernie were fighting over?
So the church is currently owned by an investment company. It's the church, the old daycare center here, and the house that's adjoining to the church to the side of it. The property had became blighted after it was emptied out, where we had individuals going into the property. We had people dumping on the property.
Right. That was a couple years ago, right?
That was about 3 years ago.
Okay. Wow.
Since then, the investment company has a property manager, and the property manager has continued to maintain the property clean. So we're not having any of those issues anymore.
So the radio has really become secondary tonight. Third, I'm not even really listening to it. I think we have a pedestrian hit up ahead. So
That might be
we'll
where the
take
fire
right.
truck was going.
Pedestrian was struck and the vehicle took off.
Oh, no
Jesus.
kidding. Oh, right here. Okay. So we're not even going to go down that far. So what street are we on?
Well, you
We're
can.
on Wilmot Ave.
If you go back down, Steve, and you come back, because you.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah. I don't want to go down this street. I don't want to. But we had a pedestrian struck here. And the person took off. Oh, and here's our cop. So
And then,
hopefully the person is fine. We'll go around the other way again. We
and
did.
then Jamali Sierra says, thank you, Anita, for everything you've done. And thank you, Steve. You guys are amazing. Christine says, actually very helpful with the trash lids. And Marilyn Rodriguez provided the link.
Great. Thank you. I would like to give my city cell phone number to all. Anyone can call me. You do not have to be a resident of the 139th district in which I represent. I am able to answer questions.
That's perfect.
And I am able to refer you to any department that you may need assistance with. My telephone number is 475-422-2886. Again, 475-422-2886. Please do not hesitate to call me for any questions you may have with regards to anything. If I'm not able to answer your questions, I will direct you to someone that can help you.
That's the thing, because the city has so many resources, as we learned tonight, and things we don't even think about yet. It can be overwhelming, can it not?
Yes, it can be overwhelming, and a lot of people get frustrated with a lot of different things because they feel that sometimes they're at a dead end. They get nowhere,
right?
Because you're given the runaround, and I don't believe in doing that. I may not have the answers to everything, but I will try to direct you to the person that may be able to help you.
Right. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is. I mean, there's just so many different things, and it's like, well, who takes care of that, or who takes care of this? And sometimes it's hard to figure out. So
Yes.
That's why
Yes.
I wanted to have city council on as one of the earlier visitors, because there's so much information that you guys know, and then every time somebody asks me for something, I'm like, well, your city council is your best source. And here's that church that you were talking about. I was talking about with the cool turret.
Yep. Maybe you can do your story while you're here, Steve.
Yeah.
This is where the accident is. Yep. Right here. So yes, even I skipped one portion that's very important. Let's talk about the trees. The city of Bridgeport years ago planted a lot of trees that they were donated or either the city purchased, perhaps maybe 20 years ago. A lot of those trees are now uprooting, meaning that they're lifting and the sidewalk is lifting as well.
Yep.
I have to tell you that I have fought for homeowners in my district to not be held accountable to replace the damage to the sidewalk because those trees were planted by the city.
Oh, okay.
So
Make sure you pick the right
anyone that has any uprooting trees and they are a homeowner, please reach out to me, because I would have the tree warden go out and evaluate such if you have any sidewalk damage, because it should not be your responsibility to replace a sidewalk that was damaged by a tree that was planted by the city, because you did not ask for that tree to be planted there.
Is there a particular place that
There's a lot, Steve, and I'm only mentioning it because you see, along Connecticut Avenue, along Stratford Avenue, there were a lot of tree plantings that were done years back, and these trees are uprooting now, which is lifting the sidewalk.
Yes, that happens a lot.
And it should not be the responsibility of the homeowner to pay for the damages.
So we got here just in time before the cop blocked our view, but we're on Wilmot Avenue, where a pedestrian has been struck by a hit-and-run driver. And that's all we know right now. Hopefully the person will be fine. What's with all the stumps? Are these the trees you were talking about?
No, the reason that he has stumps there is because trucks were parking on the sidewalk.
No kidding.
So
okay.
he put the stumps there so that they don't park on the sidewalk and they don't damage the sidewalk.
Well, the things you learn, right?
Exactly.
I would have never figured that out. I would have been stumped too. Okay.
Yeah. So.
I just don't want to get clipped here. So, if you had a tree, how would you know it's that tree?
Let me show you. Let's see. Let's continue to drive. Let's see. Well, that's why the tree warden will come out.
Okay.
And they'll be able to say, well, that tree was one. See that one there? That was a city tree. You see how it's leaning? And it's falling over?
Uh-huh.
So the tree warden will come out and those trees will be cut. See the tree there? That is the little skinny tree right ahead of us?
Okay.
That tree was just planted there.
So
okay. Eventually, 10 years from now, that tree is going to grow and the roots will start lifting.
I was just going to say, are we back to the same thing?
Yep.
We want trees, but that's the problem is that,
Which is fine, but I don't believe that the homeowner should be responsible to carry on an expense of trees that were planted by the city. See this tree here? This is a city planted tree.
Okay.
Well, there are also certain species that don't really grow those huge roots.
See this
and
here?
that's part of the problem as well, is that if they plant them, making sure that they plant the right species of tree.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
So, Alex is with us full time now. It's been really slow, but we know it will never stay that way. I got to give, props to the chief because we were going through our files and we keep a couple terabytes of information on hard drives right now. So every year we keep the same calls, chronologically. And then what happens is that from time to time I need to look back at them or pull something for the an updated story. Like somebody got shot the other day, or somebody got shot and they were just convicted. So I looked at the file and I said, wow, this was 2022, and I already had like six stories in that file folder for Bridgeport Police, and I'm struggling to get 2 stories out of the month now. So the chief, I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up because it's keeping everybody safe. And we'll make one more round and then we'll head back. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine.
Because my head is spinning with all the good information. And you have good Wi-Fi around here because we haven't lost connection, have we, Alex?
No, a few times there was a little bit of a stutter, but we haven't crashed or anything.
About public television. What do we have for now? So is there something an issue anymore? What do you know?
I do know that when during the pandemic, Optimum was allowing free Wi-Fi to students.
Okay.
I'm not sure what may be available now.
All right. Wasn't sure if that was even if it was an issue, you'd know about it. So that's good.
Yes.
So moving forward, what would you like to tell the viewers?
Moving forward, I think that I would like to see the city educate our viewers more in different things outside of politics, but what our city taxpayers can take advantage of in the city of Bridgeport.
Okay. Well, why don't you and I take care of some of that? We could do that on our own because
Yes.
I already looked at this saying, oh, we're going to have to edit this for this piece, that piece, this piece, because there's just a lot of good information here. So, really excited to have had you as a guest. And I think that, the more we know, it's going to be easier, for everybody involved.
Yes. Yes. And we have to not only do it on social media, we also have to put it in writing because not a lot of people have social media, Steve. A lot of people don't tune on to social media, more of our elderly.
Right.
So we have to keep our
the elderly. No, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been contacted by homeless people. So that
yes.
is a leading indicator. That's why I emphasize that.
Even our homeless, population, when they go to different places, such as the library should be able to provide them with different resources where they may be able to get free clothing, where they may be able to get free shoes, where they may be able to go get and I believe they do get a free cell phone.
Okay. Well, I think that's about it, huh?
Jonah says, love you doing it local. Marilyn's continuing to do a good job with giving all the information. Is she with the city as well, Marilyn Rodriguez?
Yes, she is. She's the administrator for the mayor.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense as to why she has everything on
yes.
lockdown with that.
Yeah, which is good that
you
she's
said it, and 20 seconds later, boom, there's the link.
Which is great that she's on because it helps everyone else that's on viewing and that have questions because she's able to provide everything instantly.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. And like I said, you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it again over and over again. So, if you want to share this with a friend who's running into a problem that need addressed, by all means, send them the link. We appreciate everybody watching. We're trying to grow this show. So you got anybody wants to come on, especially small businessman or woman, if you've got a business, especially in our area, it doesn't have to be Bridgeport. But if you want to be on our show, just send us a line. If we can get you in, I'd be happy to do that. So I guess it's a good time to sign out, right, Alex?
Yep.
So if we get any updates, we'll let you know on
Doing it local.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.